caused last year's event, the 2013 flooding, really was, the primary cause was an incredible dump of rain in a short period of time in the worst possible area it could fall. We had approximately 300 millimeters of rain in parts of the watershed that fell within a 2-day period. To put that in perspective, that's typically what we see in rainfall in Calgary in a year, and we got it in 2 days. What complicated that was the fact that rain fell on the end of the snowpack in late June. There was still snow on the ground in the mountains. Snowpack this year is a little bit ahead of 2013. We see that in a couple monitoring stations. Some monitoring stations, it's right on average or what it was last year. But the snowpack alone, and let me back up, and we may continue to see increases to the snowpack through May. Typically it can accumulate in May, and it typically starts to come off in June. But the snowpack alone cannot cause flooding. It comes down in a very controlled manner, accelerates during the day when it's warm, slows down during the night. We depend from a water supply on that snowpack. We see increased demands, as you can well imagine, in the summer from a water consumption perspective, and we depend on that snowpack to replenish the reservoir, so it's very important for us.
We know citizens have a number of questions, and we've generated a number of avenues for those questions to come out. The first is an open house coming up on May 7th. There's a second opportunity, and that's the open house being held on Thursday, May 15th. Certainly at those sessions, you're going to have staff from the City of Calgary, staff from the province, all there to try and address some of the questions. And we're trying to sort of push people there in that open format to share what information we can as much as we can. We will also have some members of council there, and certainly the members of council are quite interested in hearing from Calgarians and trying to provide best context they can what's going on within their areas. We have been pushing our websites, calgary.ca/floodprep and calgary.ca/flood recovery. And you know, one of the things that's quite interesting, we found that a number of people are asking questions, and quite often the answer to the question is actually contained within the website. So we're really trying to encourage people, because we've almost been spending so much time dealing with questions that we're not dealing with some of the core issues that we have to deal with, which is the work at hand right now, and there is much work at hand.
Our team is monitoring on a daily basis both the river and the climate conditions. And we collaborate with Alberta Environment's River Forecast Center when we start to see events that could cause additional precipitation of the watershed that we need to pay attention to. The monitoring will actually go to 2-day monitoring middle of May to the middle of July, which is the greatest period where we see that potential, first of all, from a snowmelt perspective and from a rainfall perspective. We start now to bring the Glenmore Reservoir down. This is normal operating practice. We do this every year. So for commuters who use the dam as part of their commute into work on a daily basis, they'll notice the level is starting to drop. Our target is to get down to, by the middle of May, approximately 1.7 meters below crest. That's a target for 2 reasons. First of all, it provides us with the opportunity to draw down further if we do see an event developing where we have to get some additional space in the reservoir. More importantly, though, it's not a level that we can't recover from a water storage perspective. So we don't want to go too low in the reservoir and not be able to recover water such that we have a problem with supply through the summer. And remember, the primary responsibility of that reservoir is water supply. The second responsibility of the reservoir is to manage runoff. And to a small extent, some heavy runoff we might see, which, remember, is a blend between rainfall and snowmelt. The third priority of the reservoir is recreational users. And really those are the ones that during this period of time feel the greatest impact, because sometimes we get the level of the reservoir such that we have to eliminate recreational use on the reservoir.